everybody. Today is June 2nd, 2021, and we're here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tranquility Court. I'm Virginia Kuenster Yarbrough. I live here, and what good luck. My distant cousin, came to visit from San Diego.
So I'm Kelli McCoy, and I am from San Diego, and I came to visit Ginny today for the first time meeting her, really, yesterday. But we've spoken and emailed and texted over the last 4 years when we discovered that we were distant cousins.
Fourth cousins, by way of, let me show you this. Okay, this is my great-great-grandfather, Jacob Kuenster, came from Wolken, Germany, and settled in Glen Haven, Wisconsin. And Kelly's grandfather, great-great-grandfather.
My great-great-grandfather is Jacob Kuenster, who also came from Wolken after his brother. There were 3 brothers that moved to the United States.
And Gottlieb eventually settled in Maryville, Missouri.
Right.
Yeah.
So today is June 2nd, and we realized that 189 years ago, Jacob Kuenster was born, and this is a poster that Ginny has of his 75th birthday party with her grandfather's present and
all those
her grandmother
Kuensters.
and her great-grandparents, Jacob and his wife.
Yeah.
And how fortuitous and serendipitous that today, June 2nd, 2021, I should be visiting
Incredible.
Ginny.
Yeah.
You may be wondering how Kelli McCoy from San Diego met Ginny Kuenster Yarbrough of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it's a very good question. And it all really comes down to Ginny and her super sleuthing abilities to find out information about ancestry.
Yeah, I was starting to write a book, coincidentally, about Gottlieb Kuenster. I called it The German of Maryville. I was all excited about him because he was busy shooting people in the streets of Maryville in 1876, where he had a grocery store. And I got curious about his descendants. Knowing that he had 10 children, I started, just trying to find a descendant of his, and his kids didn't get married. One of them became a nun. He did have he had 10 children, 9 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, and I don't know. And then Kelly comes along, and her brother and her sister, and your sister's name is Erin, your brother's name is Stephen, and they are the 3 remaining direct descendants of Gottlieb Kuenster. So I was so excited to find Kelly, and so she was excited to meet me too, because amazingly enough, she had already been to Maryville, Missouri.
Right. As my family passed away, when my mother finally passed away in 2012, I became the recipient for a lot of family photos. And among the family photos, I find 2 of my great-grandmother's photo albums. These belong to Mary Elizabeth Kuenster, who married John D. McCoy in Maryville, Missouri, and had 2 sons, one of whom was my grandfather, my father's father. He was also with John McCoy, and my dad was John McCoy. We have a lot of Johns. And they moved to Phoenix, Arizona, which is where I was born. Mady and her husband, John, moved. Mary Elizabeth went by Mady. Sorry, I didn't say that. Mady and her husband moved with their sons, Paul and John, from Maryville to Phoenix, Arizona in the early 1900s. And that's where my father was born and where I was born, and then eventually I moved to San Diego, and Ginny here was researching and found my father's obituary, and which listed my brother Stephen, my sister Erin, and I as his survivors, and she found me in San Diego, found a phone number for me, called me, and
It was excitement.
Yep, and I began to share with her these photo albums that are falling apart, but I had them scanned and digitized, and I sent them to her, and she's now told me so much about our family, about Mady and John and other people in the family. I hope to learn a lot from her.
We're still trying to figure out who a lot of these people are in these photographs, because they're not labeled. But I wanted to say, so my interest, I was writing, I was trying to write this book, the German of Maryville, about Gottlieb. Gottlieb, Mary Elizabeth, the one who put these scrapbooks together, was born in Glen Haven, Wisconsin, right where that photograph was taken. And Gottlieb was the first owner of the farm that eventually became, they called it a field lodge. So for Kuensters who are watching the film, Gottlieb, her great-great-grandfather, was the first owner of the field lodge. So there. Hi, I just wanted to add a few things. On this photograph, you may have seen it before, but it had 5 other kids in it, or adults, but these happen to be the 6 brothers and sisters who came to the United States, who emigrated from Germany to the United States. And this is it's a crop picture of the ones who came here. And this is the proposed cover of my proposed book that Julia, my daughter, designed. So it says Old Time Tales, Kuensters in the New World. So look for it on your bookshelves in 5 or 6 years. So I just wanted to tell you about that.
And also wanted to show you this book that I found in Maryville, Missouri, which is where my great-great-grandfather Gottlieb lived and where he raised his family. And Ginny so happened to have found the same book at the Nodaway County Historical Society in Maryville. And inside this book, this photograph, which you'll see closer in a moment, actually depicts my great-great-grandfather Gottlieb and some other men in front of his store on a street in downtown Maryville.
That's right.
And we've both been back there, not together, that's coming one day soon. Gottlieb is buried at St. Mary's Cemetery in Maryville, Missouri. And one of the first things that Ginny and I got to collaborate on after she reached out and found me is she found out that Gottlieb's gravestone marker at the cemetery was definitely in need of restoration. So she contacted me and I got a chance to help her, and together we had some work done on the gravestone to make it last for the next 100 years. So if you're in Maryville, stop by St. Mary's Cemetery and look up Gottlieb.
Yeah, for sure. And his wife.
And his wife.
And 2 kids. Okay, so that's about it. I just wanted to say, if you are looking forward to the Kuenster family reunion, which was postponed due to COVID, it was supposed to be 10/10/2020, and we still intend to have one, but we haven't set a date yet. And it'll still probably be in Castle, Wisconsin, and we sure look forward to seeing any Kuenster or shirt-tail relative, even a 4th cousin, who might want to show up. So, thanks. Thanks, Charles.
Perfect.
Tell me the tales that to me were so dear, long, long ago, long, long ago. Sing me the songs I delighted to hear, long